Welcome back, everyone. Bentley 7, Stonehill 6. And talk about tough duty, Tommy. Those guys, they above and beyond. They're in a lot of slop right there. It's a cold, cold day for the cheerleaders. Keeping pretty busy.
We want one more.
There you go. You bet.
Stonehill College cheerleading crew here on the near side of the field, and the Chieftains begin this drive right at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10. Handoff for Harrison. Harrison angles, the ball came loose, and they pile down to the 45. It looks that Stonehill has it, and they will call it a fumble. I thought they might have said the ground caused it.
Yeah, I think McSherry picked up the ball. Anthony McSherry, let's watch. You'll see number 34. There's a playoff tackle and trying to slide forward, pick up some extra yards. That ball is being dropped as he went down. Yeah, good call by the officials. That ball was sliding. That's another part of it. You know, we talked about the ball being slippery. You know, quarterbacks have trouble, receivers have trouble, center snappers and the running backs.
2nd and 4. Stonehill with the ball in Bentley territory just across the 45. Quick pitch to Harrison, and here's a reverse, and back to Derrick. Little razzle-dazzle. He has time, fires a long, long bomb for Adamson, who brought it in at the 7-yard line. There was one other purple jersey and a whole bunch of white. It started out looking like a reverse and then pitched back to the quarterback, and he threw a dart downfield, and Adamson went up to get it.
You know, that really was a dead play at the time the ball was thrown. They missed the opportunity, I think, to throw the football early when Adamson was open. But here comes a flea flicker back to the quarterback, and by the time he throws his football, Adamson's covered. But he makes a great move to create a position in front of the defender, Oates. What he does is create great position in front of the defender and is able to catch the football.
1st and goal, the ball's on the 9-yard line, and Harrison gets the call. Short yardage gain. That, by the way, that reception for Adamson moves him into 2nd place. On the all-time receiving list, the person that he passes is brother Kevin. Graduated here in '92.
Well, he earned it with that one because that play was covered by the time the ball was thrown. Had the ball been thrown early, Adamson was open. But what he did was he created a beautiful maneuver to get himself between the defender and the ball. Because the defender, Oates, was back covering him. He got himself between the defender and the ball, then went up, out-leaped Oates and caught the ball. Great play.
Adamson is one of the kids from Winthrop, played his high school ball, though, at Dom Savio in the city. Wow, what a great hit. And a terrific stop back at the 15-yard line. Harrison was taken down in the backfield by Ben Nasser. We talked about him at the start of the ball game. He's an outstanding player from North Andover, Mass.
Well, he's listed as a senior, but Coach Hitton said he has another year of eligibility, and they're sure hoping he comes back because he and Tucker really give them strength at the perimeter of the defense. When you have a defensive end that's as tough to block as Nasser is and is as mobile, he and Tucker both have great mobility. Tucker is a converted running back and can really move effectively. He's got that 32 number, the 44 numbers, not by accident. They're not tackle types. They're more linebacker, running back type of athletes.
And just as Stonehill came out of the huddle, a flag was thrown. It's going to cost them some yardage.
You know, we talk about guys from different programs in today's football game, and there's a bunch of kids playing with Tommy Kasterzak at Reading High School, Tucker being one of them. Well, that's been a great program over the years. The Reading Rockets in the Middlesex League, I noticed the other day in the Globe that they finished 2nd in their division in terms of outstanding high school programs throughout, and they've got a bunch of guys out here today, and Tom Kasterzak does a great job.
This series started with 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Well, it's 3rd and goal now from back on the 20. Derrick rolling to the left, throws it into the end zone for Adams, and he's got it. Touchdown, Stonehill. In the snow and in the mud, it's Sherman, number 3, who pulled that one down for the touchdown. He plays the wide receiver. He's also listed as a quarterback. He'll do a little bit of everything, and Stonehill goes back on top. See what they try to do for the extra point here. Their kicking game is a little lacking.
A little bootleg action right, roll left, and once again the defensive backs are in pretty good defensive position, but it's awfully hard to make those moves and cover effectively when the weather conditions are what they are. It gives the offensive receiver a big advantage, and that time he got behind Tim O'Brien, made the catch.
Well, there's no attempt to show extra point kick here. That's Sherman in motion. Back goes Derrick as Stonehill looks for the 2. He takes a big hit, and the pass comes up short. So the score will stand at 12-6. And the quarterback, Derek, really was pounded just as he released the football.
Yeah, Joe Dowd, the big defensive tackle out of Stoughton, Massachusetts, really put the hammer on him in that situation. You know, but you're seeing here in this football game, if you can throw the ball, and that's a big if when conditions are wet. The offensive receivers, I think, have a huge advantage over the defenders. It's tough enough to play defensive back anyway, but when you have receivers knowing where they're going, the defensive backs have to react in foot conditions the way they are. It makes it very, very difficult. That time you had the receiver, Sherman, out of North Attleboro, be able to just get himself back into the end zone, halfway into the corner, just behind O'Brien, the defensive back, and pick that ball up. But that was a well-thrown ball. And both teams very, very effective in this first period with the pass.
Frizzoli and McGrath and Baker are the deep men. Bringing it back up, that's Baker. And he gets a nice return out of it, about the 45-yard line for Bentley. 12:05 to go in the half. Raposa, in the 5 wins, has averaged 145 yards per game rushing. In the 3 losses for Bentley, just 80 yards. DeBrito, in the 5 wins, 143 receiving yards. In the 3 games that they've lost, only 52. And Mason, 209 passing yards in the 5 games that they've won, and 107 in 3 they've lost. They are the 3 most prominent men offensively for Bentley. And back Mason goes to throw. Big trouble, wrapped up and taken down back at the 30-yard line. That's a loss of about 15 yards, and it's Pat Burns, not that one, from Springfield, Massachusetts, with a big sack for Stonehill.
Well, Mason's trying to throw a turn back to Brito, and what they did, a little twist move in the defensive line, linebacker tackle stunt, and that just put the pressure on the Bentley offensive blocking team. They weren't able to pick it up. You saw that right to the left of center, a little what they call a twist. The tackle went left and the linebacker went right, and they just came right up through.
11 minutes and 25 seconds to play first half. 12-7, Stonehill in the purple with the lead. The pitch is for Raposa, and Raposa turns the corner. Gets it just past the original line of scrimmage. There's a gain of about 15 yards on the play. However, it's going to be 3rd down and 9 following the 14-yard sack. Richard White up from his free safety spot to make the tackle for Stonehill. And he is an excellent defensive player.
Yeah, Dave Pacino, the defensive tackle, a little bit upset with himself. He thought originally he had the angle to make that play and just was outrun to the sideline.
3rd down and 9 for the Bentley Falcons. DeBrito is wide here to the right side. Mason spun one way and suddenly had a purple jersey in his face, number 75, David Pacino, out of North Quincy, Massachusetts, and he threw it away. So here is 4th and 9 coming up for the Falcons.
Well, Pacino makes up for it here as he just blows right by the offensive line protection. He was almost untouched as he came through and put pressure on. Frustrated last time that he wasn't able to make the play. Pacino makes the play there.
Rodriguez and Adamson are deep to receive the punt. Pretty good kick. Takes Rodriguez back to the 20-yard line. Did he touch it? I guess not. The ball is loose and covered down inside the 10-yard line.
I'll tell you, another part of this game that's been well done by both teams. This is a difficult day to punt. You know, punting is an athletic action, and you have to have pretty good leverage to get that punt off. And these conditions are difficult to get the leverage. The punters have been effective. And, you know, one of the things that is a key and sometimes unthought of factor in these games, the snappers have got to hold and control the football. It's a wet football. Take a whack, control the football, and make good snaps. We've had 1-1 bouncer, and the rest of them have been very, very solid. So good job by both the snappers and the punters in the punting game through the first half.
10 minutes and 31 seconds to go. Stonehill 12. They have the ball back in their own territory, about the 5-yard line. Here is the pitch back for Harrison. Harrison gets a little bit of room, slips and slides out across the 5-yard line. This is the Thanksgiving Day game, you might say, for Bentley and Stonehill. It's the game that everybody on both teams looks forward to all season long. The game to finish off the year.
If anybody's observed Stonehill Bentley over the past few years, the level of both teams rises. And it's because both teams are pursuing each other. It doesn't matter whether they're 0-9 going into that game or not. They want to beat each other so bad they can taste it. It's a high school rivalry on the college level. And the fact is that they are fantastic when it comes to that game and producing for what we want them to do that day.
Flag is thrown as the ball is lofted downfield and incomplete. Sherman was down there, and it was covered for Bentley by number 22, Jim Magner.
Sophomore 5'11" out of Lynn. You know, once again, pretty good protection. Looks like a flag's thrown in there. Normally in that area, that's
associated
holding,
with holding.
Normally associated. You got the routine down. No, it's an illegal procedure. See, we were wrong. An illegal procedure penalty, probably. Oh, now we got a holding. There we go. We got two. Double dip for Stonehill on that. They get two for the price of one. Probably in this situation, you turn down a penalty because it's only a half the distance to the goal line penalty. You give up a down for 2 yards. So I would suspect we're going to see second down here. Boy, he really aired that one out. Well downfield. Pretty good protection, but that's probably why they had the good protection. They had a little hook up at the line of scrimmage.
And there are both calls.
Yeah, neither one of them accepted, and that makes sense. Incomplete pass and a half the distance penalty. Now what are we doing here?
Well, they just moved the ball back out.
They went back to the appropriate line of scrimmage.
As we knew they would.
Eventually.
Third and 8.
Watch a quick kick. Quick kick. No.
Instead, McSherry fires it long. Easy interception out at the 40-yard line. Oates down the far sideline for Bentley, and a big break for the Falcons. You saw the possibility of a quick kick coming up instead of the quick kick. They fired it long downfield, but McSherry's pass was nowhere close to anyone in purple, and it was picked off.
Well, they had definite quick kick formation, and if they had their druthers, they might have rather quick kicked, because this ball is just intercepted. It was just heaved downfield with, you know, not very accurately thrown, just out there in center field, picked off by Bentley, and that gives Bentley great scoring position. I might have quick kicked there rather than throwing that one.
That's the first pass this season by a McSherry for Stonehill that has been incomplete. There's a pass for DeBrito, and he tried to struggle loose and couldn't. Defender, the tackler, hung on, managed to get him down, but the gain is 6 yards on the play, and it'll be second down and 4. Richard White involved in yet another tackle for the Stonehill Chieftains.
Well, they put in Dickie White, and put him on DeBrito, and one of the things they do accomplish with that is you've got a great tackler playing one-on-one, their best receiver.
That's a great matchup to be watching.
You bet.
Number 1 in white, number 7 in purple. Straight ahead handoff. That's to Aiello. Needed 4 for the first down. Looked like he got 3. It'll be third down and 1 for Bentley.
See, once DeBrito beats your secondary, you got to make a decision. Are you going to let this guy beat you, or you're not going to let him beat you? He obviously has the capacity with 4 touchdown receptions this year of 70 yards or more to beat you. So what you do here is, even though you're Dickie, White kid is your free safety, you put him up, play him one-on-one.
DeBrito now with 86 receiving yards. The handoff. Raposa, well, that's a nice one-on-one tackle, and that's that man again, Richard White.
Out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts, Dickie White, 6'2", 193 pounds, made the play on the pass reception. He's a very short tackler, and what you need against DeBrito is a short tackler. DeBrito does not have great speed, but he can break tackles. He's big and strong, so you want to make sure you not only have a cover guy, but you want to make sure somebody can catch him, tackle him after he catches the football. Now, DeBrito's out here to the right, not covered by White.
Mason floats the pass for DeBrito. A flag is thrown. He pulls it down in the end zone, but there is a flag on the field.
I think it's interference called, and I think it's defensive pass interference. We'll have to wait and see.
Mason to DeBrito. And if it stands, and apparently it will from the reaction of the quarterback Mason, holding is the call. It's against Stonehill. That makes it a 13-12 lead for Bentley. Mason to DeBrito for the touchdown.
Well, that time they played a little bit differently. They played Fredette with Dickie White behind him helping. So Fredette was the corner and White was the safety, and DeBrito caught the ball anyway as Mason dropped it right down the well.
second touchdown of the afternoon for Bentley, coming at 7 minutes and 22 seconds of the second quarter. And they'll try for two. Raposa in motion right. Mason fakes the handoff, drops it into the end zone, and it's complete. Caught by Casey Butler, a diving reception for the two-point conversion, and that gives Bentley a 3-point lead, 15-12.
Well, here we go again. This is visions of Amherst Williams as these teams just keep on scoring. We'll be back with more after this.
The versatile Ricoh touchscreen copier. For those impressed by its remarkable brain, consider the body. Precision engineered for heavy duty and high volume. Ricoh's obsession with reliability and performance in a whole new class of machine. And the quality we put into it, you can get out of it right now. Because Ricoh's touchscreen copiers are not only more productive, they're also more affordable. The name to know, Ricoh.
What is the Eastern College Athletic Conference? First of all, the ECAC is the nation's largest athletic conference, comprised of 290 colleges and universities stretching from Maine to North Carolina. A conference of conferences, the ECAC serves as an umbrella for 32 playing leagues encompassing Divisions 1, 2, and 3. Over 1.7 million students and 2,500 varsity teams, which compete in intercollegiate sports, comprise the member colleges of the ECAC. The ECAC manages over 100 championships in 18 sports, ranging from Division I men's ice hockey to the Division II and III men's and women's championships in basketball, lacrosse, and soccer. The conference coordinates special events such as the ECAC Holiday Festival at Madison Square Garden, the ECAC Women's Holiday Festival, and the Eastern College Football Awards Banquet at the Meadowlands. The ECAC is responsible for over 20,000 officiating assignments among its 4,800 referees in 15 sports. That's what the ECAC is all about.
When you're making important decisions about your future, listen to what the experts have to say.
The reputation of Bentley in the business world was what sold me on Bentley.
The alumni from Bentley are very active in the business field. If you've gone to Bentley, you've got the background that they want.
Bentley College, Waltham, Massachusetts. Undergraduate, graduate, and continuing education programs. Call 1-800-5-BENTLEY.
Welcome back, everyone. Bentley Stonehill, 15-12. Bentley leading, 7:22 remaining. This is a beautifully thrown ball between the defensive cornerback. There's DeBrito, get between that seam, cornerback and safety. Oh, what a great pass. Holding call on Fredette, turned down. Point after time pass. Two-step drop, 1-2, throw it to the tight end. Gets a little bump from the linebacker, but makes a great catch. Casey Butler with the catch. Unusual kickoff formation. They sort of fake the onside kick, get you thinking, get you guessing. Makes you put an onside kick team up there all the time. Stonehill's got a full-time onside kick team out here. That's going to be right there.
Just rolled down the field to the 35-yard line, and there Stonehill takes the conservative approach, just covers the football to make sure they maintain possession.
You know, it was interesting there, Tommy. You see every time that Bentley goes to kick off, they fake onside kick. They make you think they're going to onside kick. They give you that look. That forces you as a defensive team, if you want to be, if they're going to, because we saw them one time already doing onside kick today, you got to put your 40 and 30 numbers up in that front line, take your blockers out, which they had out there in that last situation.
7 minutes and 17 seconds to play in the first half. Bentley is the leader, 15-12. There's the handoff for Harrison, and the flag is thrown here on the near side, right in front of the Stonehill bench. As Harrison got a couple of yards on the carry, but again, there is a flag. Last year's game was also played here at Chieftain Field. Illegal procedure is the call against Stonehill. Bentley won the ball game 22-8. Bentley doing all of their scoring in the first half. A couple of Mason touchdown passes, one of 26 yards and another of 80 yards. And Ed Mazzucchelli scored at a 5-yard run. Stonehill outgaining the Falcons both on the ground and in the air. In that game, Bentley benefiting last year from 5 turnovers, including 3 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions to win that game 22-8 back November the 16th of 1996.
Come on, Tommy.
First and 15.
You make sure the guy tells you you're on the line next time.
And out of the shotgun. The snap to Derrick, and he is mobbed. the 20-yard line. And it's a community sack. Dowd, man who got there first, number 78. But there were others.
Well, that was a pass breakdown and pass protection right from the snap. Double team the nose guard, but everybody else is sort of breaking down, leaking, and Dowd leads the charge. But there was, as you pointed out, Tommy, a considerable breakdown up front there as tremendous pressure there by Bentley. Boy, that's pretty passing, rushing yard. Bentley not even able to generate much, nor is Stonehill. That's why.
That was Harrison again. Harrison just back to the 20-yard line. That was on 3rd and 25. And so Stonehill is going to have to kick the ball away. 4th and a long, long way.
Those stats are a little bit,
sorry.
yeah, 3rd down. Those stats are a little bit deceptive. They've averaged more per rushing carry than what you would indicate there, but they've taken some sacks that have put the numbers on as low as they are. So the rushing yardage is not as bad as it looks there, but the sacks have been big time.
It's 3rd and 25. Shotgun Derrick on a quarterback draw. Derrick's got a little bit of room to move, but doesn't get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's still going to be 4th down and about 16 yards to go for the first down for Stonehill, so they will have to kick it away. The tackle made by Chris Butler. Another Winthrop kid, number 59 for Bentley.
Yeah, John Derrick is an outstanding quarterback. He played in probably one of the best, if not the best, close to the best high school program in the state of New Hampshire at Londonderry High School. And he was a superb high school quarterback in the state of New Hampshire. Partially blocked.
And Stonehill comes up with it. It's still going to be Bentley's ball, and they will take over in just terrific field position. Number 32, Bill Tucker, was the man who got a hand on it. The snap wasn't real good. It was slowing the punt away, which gave Tucker a chance to get there.
Well, so you see, the punter bobbled the ball. That's really what caused the problem. You're just not going to get much zip on a snap, and what you want to do is be accurate. And he was pretty accurate. The ball was at about knee level, a little bit low, but catchable. But bobbled, and there again, you got the wet weather, and Bentley's in excellent position, knocking on the door. They've had good field position in the second quarter.
Bentley, with already a 3-point lead, there is Raposa, cuts it back. Raposa gets bumped at the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4. Michael Crovo makes the tackle. Another Whitman Hansen lad, linebacker for Stonehill's Chieftains.
Boy, Bentley got a great block by Darren Lee, another New Hampshire kid, played for Joe Raycroft at Merrimack High School. Great turnout block, enabled him to pick up the 5 yards or 4 and change on that play. And, you know, Bentley, neither team has given up on the run. And once again, the stats for total run yards a little deceptive because we've had a bunch of sacks in there.
Raposa needs just 6 yards to reach 1,000 for the season. Mason throws out on the left side. That pass is complete. What appears to be a first down for Jason Baker from Attleboro, Massachusetts, Attleboro High. And it is a 1st and 10 for the Falcons.
Well, you can't throw a ball much better than Mason threw that one. He just knifed that one through coverage. Just picked up a little slide pass, a little slant pass through the zone, threw the ball over the linebacker's head. Well caught there by the wide receiver.
Falcons trying to open up a little gap in the score here. DeBrito is wide to the right side. Here is the pitch for Raposa. Tries to cut it back, drags a tackler with him, and all kinds of purple arrives. About the time he got back to the line of scrimmage, may have lost a yard on the play. Nice defensive reaction by Stonehill, Pacino, and White. Well, along with those in on the tackle.
Yeah, I'll tell you who made the play there. Mark Driscoll, the outside linebacker. They were trying to kick him out, and he really squeezed the play. Didn't give much room to run up in, and enabled the rest of that pursuit to come over and make the play. But Mark Driscoll, the outside linebacker, played that very well. Sophomore out of Rogers High School in Newport, Rhode Island.
2nd down 10. 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and the clock is running. And a timeout is taken here by which club? Timeout taken by the Bentley Falcons, stops the clock with 3:15 to go. The Falcons head over to talk with Coach Peter Yetton.
See, when you're trying to run that outside play, we talked about the linebacker there, Driscoll, playing that effectively. When you're the outside man and you're a support man, in other words, you come up to support any outside running play, the guy's going to put a lick on you. But what you have to do is to try to squeeze the hole down. Don't let that lead blocker knock you out. So to take the hole, and instead of it being a 2-foot or 3-foot or 4-foot opening, create it to a 3 or 4 or 5 yard opening. Now you've got real problems because now you're inside and pursuit has got 6 or 7 yards to make tackles and cover versus just squeezing it down and not giving the guy much room to get through. So what Driscoll did right there is he took on the lead blocker, squeezed the play down, slid a bit to the inside, and then didn't create much room inside there, so your pursuit was able to make the tackle. He gets kicked out and gets knocked to the outside. Now you got a 6 or 7, 8 yard hole in there. Now your pursuit comes over the back, turning up into the hole. He has some room to diddle and dangle, and he can make some yardage.
Both of these teams played low-scoring games in the rain and the mud last week. Stonehill lost to Salve Regina 7-6, and Bentley lost to CW Post 9-7.
Boy, doesn't that little school down there in Newport have a nice little football program?
Yeah.
Salve Regina.
They've had a terrific year.
Done a nice job.
Mason floats one out there. It's for Sherman and thrown well out of the ballpark. As Mason just got rid of that one, that stops the clock with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the first half.
Mason reads blitz, but the receivers don't. You see, he had linebacker blitz inside there, and he read blitz, which is probably a straight release by the wide receiver on that left side. Just go as fast as you can go, and he's trying to throw it to a spot, but that was blitz inside as the linebacker, David Fleming, put the pressure on Fleming from his inside linebacker spot, 205 pounds.
3rd and 10, pitch to Raposa, looks like a reverse coming. Now they're going to try the same play that didn't work for Stonehill, and they fling it into the end zone. It is incomplete. A flag is thrown. Several flags are thrown. A mirror image of the play that Stonehill tried that was intercepted.
Yeah, it's exactly the same play, another flea flicker, and this one, it's hard to believe that somebody's this open in the secondary, because I'll tell you, Mason is under duress and just heaves this thing up there. It's under a lot of pressure, but there's one guy hanging over there in the right side of the end zone. He gets knocked down. That's the interference call as Fredette puts a bump on him, and you wonder how the receiver can be that open. The only way that can happen is that the defensive backs on the right side of the football field just sort of give up on the play. In other words, they think it's a run or they think it's something off to the left side, and they sort of drift around and lose sight of the deep outside to the right. There's Jason Fredette. There was a bump that that's a contact, 15-yard penalty. Yep.
On the defense, the penalties half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
That's everything we need to know.
You got it all.
1st and 10 for Bentley. The ball is at the 12-yard line.
This is a very important stop for Stonehill. 3 minutes to go in the half, and Bentley knocking on the door again. Both teams having trouble covering in the secondary.
Running back, number 3 is Raposa, closing in on 1,000 yards, and even 3 minutes to go in the half. Raposa has the handoff, and that's going to get him very close to a thou. That as he takes it down to the 6-yard line, that is a gain of 5 or 6 on the play. Well, maybe a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, that's probably the best push in the by the offensive line up front that Bentley's had. Great thrust off the ball because they create a huge hole up front for Raposa. You can see how far back they've driven the Stonehill defensive line. That's the best push they've gotten so far in this football game.
Raposa needs 2 yards for 1,000, and that might just get him there. He's still driving and trying to get a little bit closer, gets inside the 5-yard line. That will be a gain, it appears, of 3. And he hits quadruple figures for the season, 1,000 plus yards for number 3, Matt Raposa from
Swansea.
Swansea and
Case High School.
Tech Junior. 5'8", 195, minute 55 seconds, and the clock is running. It's 3rd and 3 for Bentley, already leading 15-12 and trying to add to that. They're inside the 5. Mason pass is caught. Yes. I lost sight of it, Nort, because that ball went behind some arms of defenders, and it was picked off and taken into the end zone for the touchdown as Bentley expands their lead.
I thought Tarantino, the defensive tackle for Stonehill, got a piece of the ball.
I did too.
That's just a quick slant to the left. Watch 62, the right defensive tackle, come across, get the hand up. He partially deflected the ball. He did get a hand on it. Partially deflected the ball, but DeBrito stays with the play and makes the catch.
That's DeBrito's 2nd touchdown reception of the afternoon, and the extra point is no good.
Continuing adventure stays here. This is the plot thickens. But, you know, I thought I saw Tarantino get a piece of that ball, and he did. But still, with the partial deflection, DeBrito really focused and concentrated on the football, made the catch. Sliding catch, 21-12. Bentley leads, and boy, that was a nice drive as they took advantage of excellent field position. I'll tell you, Bentley has taken advantage of good field position in this second quarter. Now watch again. You'll see the right defensive tackle slightly deflect the ball. You see, knocks it a little bit. But DeBrito stays with it, makes the catch. Wow. His better angle is this one. Reach up, Tarantino deflects it. And that's against a real good defensive back in Dickie White there.
DeBrito's 10th touchdown reception of the season. That's 2 today.
He doesn't,
actually his 11th.
He doesn't tip that one. You know, you don't know. Maybe Dickie White gets in there and intercepts it.
21-12. It is a 9-point lead. There's a minute and 44 seconds to play in the first half. And again, they come up with that fake out of the huddle on the kickoff. And then they back away from that and set for a more conventional kick. And it's drilled to Rodriguez. Takes it on a hop at the 18, rips loose as he comes up to the 40-yard line. And there for a split second, it looked like he might be able to be off to the races, but he goes down at the 40-yard line, and there it's 1st and 10 for the Stonehill Chieftains with a minute and 39 seconds to play in the first half.
Here we go.
Game is underway up in Albany. We'll try to check that score for you at halftime between Albany and Southern Connecticut. The winner of that game wins the Atlantic Division and moves on to the Eastern Football Conference Championship game in Springfield against AIC next Saturday. Derrick fires over the middle. The pass is complete for a first down. That's into Bentley territory at the 48-yard line. Pass to Bowen for a 12-yard gain. And Stonehill quickly up to the line of scrimmage. It was covered by Jim Magner from Lynn. 1st and 10 on the Bentley 48. Derrick again out of the shotgun, throws the pass. It's complete for Harrison. Harrison across the 40 into the 38-yard line, and another first down for Stonehill with a hurry-up offense, and a timeout is called.
That was a pretty good turnout pattern on that left sideline, but once again, you know, it's very difficult to come up and defend quickly. Now, you would think that with the conditions today, throwing the ball out that far with a slippery ball would be a bit chancy someone could step up and pick that one off, but it's very difficult when the turnout pattern occurs for those defensive backs to stop, react, come up and make a play. Boy, this is one of those games. I said this earlier, Tom. You know, sometimes you come to a football game like this and you know the conditions are going to be bad. The weather conditions are going to be bad. And you look at the game and say, well, this is going to be a defensive battle. These are both two pretty good defensive teams. And sometimes the offense gets away from both teams.
Connie Driscoll, a head coach here at Stonehill, 34-15-0, and in his 5th season, a teacher in the Braintree school system, also a freelance writer, North.
Yeah, he coaches, as you pointed out, teaches at Braintree, and one of the outstanding high school coaches in the state of Massachusetts also is returned to coaching at Braintree High School. Eddie Beck, who had a great head coaching career, is now assistant coach down there, has been a staff member at Braintree High School for a number of years. We want to send our best out to Braintree's Eddie Beck.
Stonehill's moved to a couple of consecutive first downs out of the shotgun. Here's a pass, and it is intercepted right into the chest of Tim Magner, and Magner brings it out back to not quite the 50-yard line, just out to the 48. But that will stifle that drive for Stonehill, and Magner is taken down on the tackle into the Stonehill bench, and with a minute and 12 seconds, Bentley has the ball back. They rule him out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Well, it's pretty simple. What happens here is the ball gets away from the quarterback, Derrick, and there have not been many balls that have been poorly thrown by either one of these two quarterbacks, but that ball gets away from him, and that's frequently what happens with the slippery ball. It gets away from him high, and Magna makes the tackle out of Lynn. Lynn Classical.
Tight end, Freddie, tight end!
Mason throws complete. Out onto the far side, dives up to the 50-yard line. Lundell on the reception for Bentley.
That's just like a quick flanker route, quick flanker screen where they throw the ball out the flanker and they try to get one of the wide receivers and one of the inside men to get out there and block for him. Quick opener, picked up 5 yards.
2nd and 6, less than a minute to play in the half. Mason throws long. It's intended for DeBrito and broken up. There's that one-on-one matchup. Richard White and Mark DeBrito.
He's a load to handle DeBrito, and I'll tell you what makes him particularly effective. Mason is throwing the ball very well today. He gets this ball way up and outside. It's a difficult ball to defend because there's difficulty in intercept. It's thrown high, long. That time DeBrito came back, tried to pick it off, and the defensive back, Dickie White, made the knockdown. But once again, DeBrito wasn't far away from catching that one. You've got to be very, very alert. He has 7 pass deflections on the season for Dickie White out of Chelmsford.
3rd down and 6. Mason's back under pressure. Throws it complete to Sherman, but his knee touched down. Back behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like the 45-yard line is Raposa.
Yeah, run a screen pass here. Anytime you're in a passing situation and you run a screen, you have a chance to make yourself some yardage, but this was pretty well defended by Stonehill as Mike Crovo has had an excellent game out of Hanson, Massachusetts. Whitman Hanson High School is out there to make the play on Raposa, screen right to Raposa, and he just can't keep his balance, keep his knee off the ground, which is perfectly understandable because these conditions are difficult.
Gives us a timeout, 21-12 the score. Bentley leading Stonehill with just 29 seconds to play in the first half. Mentioned that both teams lost their games last week. Stonehill has lost 3 in a row, but to 3 outstanding small college teams here in New England. Southern Connecticut beat them 58-0 3 weeks ago. Southern Connecticut, of course, playing for the division championship in the Atlantic Division today out in Albany. Then they played that same Albany team 2 weeks ago, lost that one 42-26. And then last week's game to Salve Regina at 7-6. That's Salve Regina, of course, out of Newport. Bentley started the season with a win over Merrimack, then lost to AIC, beat LaSalle, lost to Stony Brook, beat UMass Lowell, and to Sacred Heart and Assumption before losing last week to CW Post.
They finally sent a guy back to receive, but it wouldn't be a bad idea not to have anybody back to receive because you take out the possibility of fumble.
Ball comes down behind the coverage team for Bentley, and it will roll dead right around the 20-yard line with 20 seconds left to go here in the first half, and Stonehill comes out with the offense.
I never think it's a mistake in that situation not to put anybody back there because you totally eliminate the possibility of misplay. You know, you never know. You tell kids not to catch the ball, stay away from it. No matter how many times you say that, someone's trying to catch the football at some point in time. So when you have just a few seconds left to go, and you're probably going to put your knee to the ground here, just get everybody out of there.
20 seconds left, and Stonehill is 80 yards away from the goal line. They'll just let the clock run out on the final few seconds of this first half. Stonehill got on the board first in the first quarter. A quarterback sneak by the quarterback, John Derrick. And then Bentley has come back to take a lead at 21-12 as the teams head for their tents, which have been assigned to them over on the far side of the field for halftime. And we will be back with halftime from Chieftain Field in northeastern Massachusetts. In a moment, our score, 21-12, Bentley.
Call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights?